Hi folks, welcome into another edition of This Week in Pearl. I'm your host, Frank Hutton, and I'm excited today that we're going to have Commissioner of Agriculture, Andy Gibson, today. He is coming in with Representative Gene Newman. He is running for governor. We're going to get to talk to him about why he's running for governor and why he's qualified to be the next chief executive here in the state of Mississippi. So don't run off, because when we come back, I'm going to bring in Commissioner of Agriculture, Andy Gibson. We'll be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. And Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. Adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
Hi folks, welcome back into another edition of This Week in Pearl, where I am joined today by two distinguished gentlemen, one of which I know really well and the other one I'm really getting to know. Welcome to the show, Representative Gene Newman, and thank you for bringing in our esteemed guest today, the Mississippi Agricultural Commissioner, Andy Gibson.
It's great to be with you, and thank you, Gene, for inviting me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
It's been, I think, about a year.
About a year since I was on here before.
Yeah, he was here last year about this time talking about the fair.
Talking about the fair. We had a great conversation. And I want to appreciate you coming in. You also announced you're running for governor then.
That's right.
And you have been campaigning actively.
Working hard.
So before we jump off into that, do tell us, update us on the family. How's everybody? We got to get to know how the family's doing.
Well, family's doing great. Thank you for asking. My wife Leslie and I just celebrated 25 years of marriage, and we're so thankful. We got off and went riding horses across the Great Divide in Montana.
Wow.
And didn't have a cell phone. If I had one, it wouldn't have worked up there. But we celebrated a quarter of a century. It happened to be the same year we're celebrating 250 years of America, which reminds you how young our country really is. I mean, we've been married 1/10 of the whole age of our nation. We're so blessed.
I know,
and then
right?
we have 4 children. We are Joseph, Benjamin, Abigail, and Sarah. Joe's 22. Ben is 21. Abby is 17 and Sarah's 14, and they're all doing well, and each of them has found their sort of interest in on the farm and in wildlife. And one of my boys is a ranch manager out in Montana. He took a summer job and he did such a great job, they invited him to stay.
No kidding.
I'm looking for him to come home one day, but right now he's punching cows in the mountains of Montana.
In Montana.
That's right. Then our second son, Ben, is a student at Mississippi College. He's following in his dad's footsteps. I was a double major in Christian studies and political science, and he's going that pre-law route there at MC. And then our oldest daughter, Abby, will be, she's 17, she'll be 18 this fall, and she will graduate high school. And she's interested in livestock and lambs and just all kind of good. She's a farm girl. All our kids are. And then our baby girl, she's not a baby anymore. Sarah is 14, and she takes care of our horses and, keeps a lot of, these girls are doing a lot of work on our farm. They have to with me off campaigning now a lot. And I just appreciate God blessing me with the family that we have. Everybody's doing good. Thank you for asking.
Fantastic.
How about y'all?
Well, we're doing fine.
Good.
We're getting there. Right. All right, so you announced for governor.
Yeah.
You've been campaigning. Why is it the right time for you to run for governor right now?
Well, for one thing, it is an open seat. So Mississippi is going to be getting a new governor. We've had a good governor in Tate Reeves, Governor Reeves, and he's done so much for economic development, but he's term limited. So it is an open seat. It's going to be an opportunity for the people of Mississippi to select the next governor for the next season. And having prayed about this for a long time, my wife Leslie and I decided, and we felt the Lord calling us to say, yeah, the time is now. It's as if the Lord said, do it and do it now. And, you know, I have enjoyed being Ag Commissioner. It is the best job in Mississippi, I would say, and I'm going to do the very best job I can throughout the remainder of my term. But kind of like that, well, like I was in the legislature. I was there for about 10 years. I had a list of things to do, and when I got those things done, it was time for me to move on. I'm not one who just believes in doing, sitting and doing the same thing for no reason. So I had a list of things to accomplish as Ag Commissioner. We've gotten most of those done. I got 2 or 3 big things yet to get done, but that list is getting short. And so I sense the time is to make this move and bring that type of leadership into Mississippi's Chief Executive Office, which is the Office of Governor. And I think having executive experience that I have, having the legislative experience that I have, served with Gene,
right,
and also private sector experience, uniquely qualifies me to be that kind of governor for the future of Mississippi.
Well, give me a little bit about what qualifies you.
Well,
go through that list.
I just happen to bring.
I just happen to bring
some
a few
campaign
things.
Materials there.
Yeah,
I put our unparalleled experience.
Right, unparalleled experience right here.
So
unparalleled.
my qualifications are really, and look, I'll say this, if I haven't said it before, I will never say anything bad about anybody else that's running for governor. You're not going to hear me do that.
No.
I challenge everybody else to be that way, and that's the way it should be.
That's the way it should be. Let's run on qualifications.
We run on our record and who we are, and so my record is unique in that respect. I do have the unique qualifications of having served in the legislature, so I know how to pass a bill, and most importantly, I think Gene would agree, how to kill a bill. Most of them need killing.
we talk about that a lot.
That's right. Also, so legislative experience, and frankly, I was the conservative legislator of the year for a number of years there, and led the way on passing a lot of important legislation. Executive experience, it's different, and I learned this. I thought I knew how to run a state agency until I got elected to be Ag Commissioner, and I realized it's a whole nother situation when you're an executive office leader. You have to be able to make executive decisions and run an agency efficiently, and that experience, make decisions, not just debate them, but make them. That's a big deal. And then thirdly, a private sector experience. I am a businessman. I also I'm an attorney. All of my school right here in Mississippi, graduated Brandon High School. Don't hold that against me.
No, we're
in
not.
Pearl.
We're not.
Got saved in Pearl, Mississippi, at Providence Baptist Church. Went to Mississippi College and Mississippi College School of Law, and graduated top of my class there. So I practiced law in the business world, helping businesses expand, and that's a skill that I have. And what I like to do is get people around a table like this and say, all right, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to accomplish? And let's figure out how to get some things done. We can do that. We can do that in the business setting. We can also do it with the legislative setting. I agree. Let's do these 5 things, and then y'all can fight about the rest. That's okay. There's a way to do that. And then I think one other qualification that I have, I don't want to beat this drum too much, but I am a pastor, and I understand the people of Mississippi, having served as a pastor, and having prayed with folks who are struggling to make ends meet and dealing with real world issues that some politicians may not have a full appreciation for it, whether they have enough money this week to buy a full cart of groceries or just a half a cart. That's the kind of thing. So understanding the real people of Mississippi and the real issues that affect them, I would suggest it gives me a unique set of qualifications that I humbly submit I have that, frankly, the other candidates don't have.
What does the Gibson administration look like?
The Gibson administration is a conservative administration. We're going to get back to the basics. We're going to continue economic growth. We're going to focus on real jobs for real people. What I see the opportunity for Mississippi to do is to bring in jobs that have been outsourced, offshored, sent overseas, sent outside of our borders for so long. We've just kind of taken it for granted. One is food service, for example, food processing. We need to bring those jobs back here. It dovetails with what our president is trying to do. I just got back from Washington, D.C. He wants to bring those jobs back to America so we stop depending on foreign food, stop depending on foreigners in general, and be able to not only feed ourselves but create jobs that no matter what the future brings, they're AI proof, okay? AI is changing our world.
Sure it is.
It already has. And artificial intelligence is here. It's coming. It's taking jobs. It's going to take, they tell us 20 to 30% of the jobs. So let's focus on the real jobs for real people, that no matter what AI does, real people got to have real food to eat. Real people got to have a roof over their head, construction. Real people got to have infrastructure to get around. And this is the type thing I'm focused on. But a conservative administration that will stand up for our freedoms and expand freedom. I'd like to repeal a whole bunch of laws off the books. I know Gene would, that just really have no purpose. That the government shouldn't be having so many laws. It's a set of volumes as long as this room is wide. I mean, that on every detail of your life. Let's get that stuff out of the way. Yep. Let's make Mississippi affordable again. I do know the difficulties of taxation. People are struggling to pay high taxes that keep getting higher and higher. So let's find ways to reduce those car tags and reduce property taxes. Let's find ways to do that without hurting our counties and cities. And there are ways to do it by redirecting these resources and making Mississippi affordable again. Reducing the tax burden, real jobs for real people, public safety. This is not so much an issue here in Pearl. I know Pearl is a safe place, but even in Pearl and in communities all across Mississippi, I hear this infiltration of the criminal element. Maybe they're coming across the river, maybe they're coming across the Alabama border or the Tennessee border or down in Louisiana. I hear it all over Mississippi, a juvenile crime crisis. We've got to build a place to put those juvenile criminals. There is, with all the great laws that are passed to hold them accountable, if you don't have somewhere to put them, it's not going to do any good. So I'm proposing a 400-bed juvenile facility, and this is an idea I got from the sheriffs and from police chiefs. Take these dangerous kids out of our schools. Don't just put them in a revolving door to, the alternative school and come back in. Get them out of our schools, put them in a place where they can still learn and earn their way out. But if they're not going to create havoc for our schools and for our communities anymore, but they'll go there and they can earn their way out with a diploma or a employable job skill. Basically become a productive citizen. And that's something we need. And another one is, when it comes to public safety, is mental illness. Mental health is such a crisis level right now. And there's not enough resources. I don't know if there'll ever be enough resources, but we have too many people walking the streets that are a danger to themselves or others, and they're committing crimes, but they have a problem that for whatever reason their family is not able to address. We need to have a good old-fashioned rehabilitation center for these folks as well. And I'll issue a statewide law enforcement task force to go where we're needed to assist local sheriffs, police chiefs, to do for the whole state what I've done on the fairgrounds. That is, have an overwhelming police presence, deter and detect and hold these criminals accountable in these high crime areas and bring back public safety. That's some highlights. I've got a 7-point plan I rolled out. I won't get into all the details.
Right.
But
I've been watching your videos.
That's right. Every day I'm putting out a video of what we're doing. I think another big issue for Mississippi is going to be food supply. You see the drought we're in right now. Out west, it was already in a drought. Their food production is falling off a cliff. California's not producing our food anymore. We're having to depend on Mexico. We're having to depend on other places around the world, bringing it back to Mississippi. And I've learned this as Ag Commissioner. They tell us in 18 years' time, the food supply of America is going to depend on the Southeast because we have the water. And so that is an opportunity that we have to let Mississippi lead on local food supply, and it's something I will continue. That theme as governor that I've begun as commissioner.
I think that's fantastic. One of the things that I applaud you for finally bringing to light is banning Sharia law. You want to expand on that just a little bit? What do you mean by this?
Yeah, well, Sharia law is a phrase that most people may have never heard of, but it's not a religion. Some people have misinterpreted it as saying banning Muslims or banning foreigners. No, Sharia law is actually a legal system within the religion of Islam, and it is a system of law that mandates behavior. There's 5 levels of behavior, ranging from mandated to tolerated to prohibited. And you have to understand, in the world of Islam, the religion is the state. Okay, they abide by these rules in a way that you and I wouldn't think about as Christians. we wouldn't think about having a church being the state and holding court and telling all the rules and rights and what we can and administering punishments. But that is what Sharia law is. And I have a unique perspective on it because I've actually traveled the whole world as Ag Commissioner. And I've been places, even in the last 5 years, Europe has been overrun with these adherents of Sharia law. Nations that used to be free countries that had the right to vote, to assemble peaceably, to stand up for their Christian values, they've been overrun and basically taken over. London, the city of London, in the heart of England, where our country originated from, our parent country, if you will, they are now run by Muslims who are very radical, and that takeover is coming west. It's already made inroads here in our country. If you look at what's happening in Dearborn, Michigan, you look at what's happening in Texas. They just tried to put foot washing stations in the DFW airport. The governor of Texas had to intervene to stop it. And then he found out they'd already installed them in Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing the evidence of this. And this is a system of laws that demeans women. It's dangerous for women and children. There are punishments that are appropriated, that are, inhumane. You and I would. And we have laws in the books that prohibit foreign law in our courts, but what people don't understand is this system sets up its own courts within its own territory. They take over an area and they establish their own religious courts. That has happened in Texas, it's happened in Florida, and that's one reason why Governor Ron DeSantis just signed into law in April a Florida ban of Sharia law. I know that our legislature would support doing this. And the more people understand and they see in the news what's happening, this is a very well thought out, premeditated attempt by radical Islamists to move into our country and to erode our freedoms. And they're winning elections. We have a New York mayor. The mayor of New York is a radical Muslim, also a socialist. Mm-hmm. It's a strange thing, but they've allied with the Democrat Socialist Party. And then you have 42 of them running for Congress this November on the Democrat ballot. People better wake up. If you don't think it's here, get your head out of the sand. And last thing I'll say is this. Most people I've talked to were astounded to learn we have an international center for Muslim culture in the city of Jackson, Mississippi, that was funded by a bunch of grants, like $1.7 million. The leaders of it have expressed support for Hamas. They are located in Jackson, city of Jackson facilities, the old planetarium there. Like I'm saying, it hasn't just been coming. It's here, and we need to wake up. I will ban Sharia law day number one. I also will take action to keep China from owning even a fraction of an acre. That is the Chinese Communist Party, another foreign threat.
Right.
Public safety is job number one of the governor. Mm-hmm. Economic development is important. It's very important. I will keep it going. But also understanding when you see a threat, you have to deal with it and not just beat around the bush.
Our way of life.
American way of life.
Our American way of life. Mm-hmm. The way that our Constitution is written, not only federal but our state Constitution, is built on Christian principles.
Absolutely.
And I trust you, you trust me. We're trying to have a good society where we have our life, our liberty, our freedoms. And so there's a lot of things that are happening because we are a forgiving society, because we are this Christian country. Mm-hmm. And the way that we're designed and we're built, you can easily manipulate or take advantage of this.
Absolutely.
Which the Chinese have done, the Muslims are doing. Mm-hmm. There's how do we not infringe on our rights but restrict what they're doing?
Well,
without, you see where I'm going.
Absolutely.
It's like splitting a hair or threading a needle from over here.
Yeah, but it's really not anything new because the Constitution does provide for the freedom of religion, the free exercise of religion. But that free exercise, the Supreme Court has held time and time again. I learned this in law school. Freedom of religion doesn't mean you can do whatever you want to do to anybody you want to do it to. Okay, there are built-in constitutional protections, and when you come in here and try to set up a separate legal system that operates, which is incompatible with the American Constitution, that is simply not allowed. And we need to have our laws in Mississippi reflect what Florida laws already do, Texas laws. You can't do that in Mississippi. It's coming here, it's here, and we just have to be willing to stand up and deal with it. I'm ready to do that and enforce the laws against these heinous crimes.
You just mentioned 42 people running that are Muslim that are running for federal election, for
Federal
Congress.
Congress.
What happens when you get a Mandami, you get a mayor, say we get one because we get one in Mississippi. What happens when the chief law enforcement officer is Islamist? What happens now? I mean, that's where I guess that's where my question really kind of.
You have to understand, and most people haven't really researched this, but I hope that people will. In America, we have separation of church and state to keep the state out of the church.
Right.
Understand that. That's why that's there. In Islam, the church is the state. Their religion is the state. It's not the church, it's a religion. And their religion is the state, and that's their worldview. So when you're dealing with that, you have to have laws in the books to say, no, we are Americans. We're going to recognize the rights and freedoms of all Americans, that we're not going to allow this Sharia law to take root in our land.
We're going to have to do something about it. There's no.
We are. It's coming. It's already here.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about Mississippi as a whole.
Yeah.
Because Mississippi is doing really well. Thanks to you fine gentlemen, the legislature has done a lot, in the last 10 years, 12 years to really propel Mississippi with education, with our economy. The governor's done a great job. I would say that we have been on the forefront. I mean, we're not building a whole bunch of data centers. That's one of the things that you're talking about. Yeah. But we are going to build a few, and there are some concerns there. And I wanted to kind of touch on that just a little bit because when you talk about we want to get to the bottom of what's going on with the data center, and I don't want to give up farmland to put a big gigantic data center on it. Right. That's not something I want to do. But I know some of this conversation, not all of it, some of this conversation is Chinese propaganda. Yeah. Because they don't want us building AI data centers because obviously it would kind of put them second fiddle is a good way of putting it.
There's a race that is going on. Even the president has talked about that. It's artificial intelligence is it is here. It is going to affect our world. I do believe we need to have guardrails in place that'll protect the rights of our citizens against what appears to be sometimes the AI inventors say unpredictable and uncontrollable system. That is a concern for me. Yes. But when it comes to data centers, we just need to know the facts, and we have to get to the facts. And so what I've been an advocate for is transparency. A lot of these deals that have been done are not where they can be disclosed because there's non-disclosure agreements in place. Sure. But on the permit board, I sit on the DEQ permit board, which is one of the last steps in the process. I'm just going to make sure that these kind of answers are asked and answered. Where are you going to get your water? Is it going to affect our water rates? Where are you getting your electricity? Are you going to pay your own way to make sure our citizens are not having to pay the bill? And that's something President Trump has been advocating for as well, a ratepayer protection pledge. How much noise is it going to make when it's done? We all understand there's noise in construction, but when it's done, how many decibels is it going to be? How many jobs are going to be there? And importantly, who owns you? Which company owns you? We're all familiar with Amazon, and we're familiar with Meta, these familiar names. But at the end of the day, a lot of these deals that are coming that I've heard so much concern about are deals that are coming from speculative entities that don't really have.
Those concern me.
Yeah, and if we're in a race, and if there is a bubble like the .com bubble, and if it busts, what you're going to have is 3 or 4 big players that stand. The rest of them may go the way of the dinosaur. So the memo that I'm requiring of all these companies, as long as I'm on the permit board, which is the next couple of years, is who owns you, and show us your financial record. Do you have the financial standing to keep standing in the event of a downturn? I think these are issues. These are the questions that people ask me. I don't have the answers, and the only people that can accurately answer that are the data centers themselves. So I'm going to get that information on the record at the DEQ. And that I think when you look into it, you'll find some companies are doing it right and some may not be, and we have to be able to tell the difference between the two.
most people I hear concerns are what you mentioned, water. That's a big deal. You know, are you going to
Big
take
deal.
water away from a farmer?
Yeah.
I don't want to do
Our
that.
our food supply.
Our food supply. No, I don't want to do that. But the other thing too is electric rates, and we've talked about this many times, Gene. You know, we've discussed this plenty. I've had the CEO of Energy sitting right in that chair this year.
Yep.
We talked about that, and he said no, data centers are going to pay their own way. He even went on to say that it's more likely that your rates will go down. Now, this summer it's been hot.
Hot summer.
Rates have skyrocketed. Cost for energy has gone up, not because of data centers, but because of weather and climate and other factors, obviously, that are going on with energy in the world today.
Yeah.
But are those two of the things, because I know as just an average citizen, those are two big deals to me when it comes to data center. Energy, the power, and the water.
We need to make sure that they are paying their own way. Some of these data centers are going to use more electricity than the entire city of Pearl.
I know, right?
Some of them will use lots of water, but where's their water coming from and how much they're going to use? The good news is there are technologies that I'm learning about, and I'm by no means an expert
Well, there
on
was
this.
one I
This
was
is
going
all
to ask you.
Using gray water.
Yeah.
Using gray water from the municipal system, for example, that's going down the drain, and you can actually filter it and use it to cool that, and so you're not hurting our aquifers at all. We have got to preserve our water. I already mentioned the food supply situation.
Right.
If Mississippi and the Southeast is going to be feeding America in 20 years, we've got to make sure that our aquifers remain replenished and full of water. Water is survival. God's blessed us with it, and water is something that is sacred that we need to protect. So those kind of technologies can help alleviate that concern, and then making sure they're paying their own way in electricity. I think that's what most people want to know.
What are your thoughts on these micro nuclear reactors? You know, they're pretty neat invention. You know, they literally fit in the back of a big gigantic C-141 Starlifter.
Yeah.
You know, they're big, but I mean, to fit inside a big plane, that's pretty small. And they will literally power an entire. What are your feelings on something like that?
We need all the electrical generation that we can get, especially with these data centers. The more we can have in terms of supply, it's supply and demand.
Sure.
The reason you see in America as a whole, people's rates are going up is a lot of these data centers in other parts of the country are sapping so much electricity, there's not enough to go around. So that's making it automatically more expensive. Supply and demand. We need to ramp up electrical generation like never before, and that includes all the above. The small nuclear reactors I support, they tell me it may take 6 or 7 years to get those online.
Right.
And we may have a delegation, an administration in D.C. and that may not be supportive of that, but right now we do. We need to strike while the iron's hot. And all the above. I mean, we can produce more electricity than Mississippi will need, and when we do that, it will help get our rates down. We need them to go down, not the other way.
Well, let's pivot just a little bit, staying in Mississippi, but on our education side that we're very proud of.
Yes.
We call it the Mississippi Miracle.
Amen.
We've done a great job with education. How do we keep that talent here?
You know, we have to be able to give them meaningful work, jobs with meaningful work. And I think a lot of the work that's going to be meaningful, I talked about it earlier, and talking to economic development experts around the country that I've met with, you need to find jobs that are going to be here, that are going to be AI proof. We have a lot of young people, and I don't want to get too personal, but I have one of my sons who's worried to death. Dad, I go to school, I'm going to learn all of this, and some computer's going to do the job that I could learn to do. Is the legal system even going to be a thing? Is being an attorney going to be something that's where you can make a livelihood anymore? Young people are worried about that.
Right.
So what we have to do is figure out, all right, AI is here. It's going to do whatever it's going to do and whatever jobs it's going to replace or supplement. But what are the jobs that are going to be necessary for human existence? And I've already mentioned some of them: food, fiber, shelter, healthcare, education, human education. I think the value of real education is going to be greater than ever before, because AI, we're building a machine that is teaching itself, that is thinking for itself. And a lot of students that I've talked with, they're using AI to punch a button and write their paper for them. I think I read a report in Delta State, or was it one of the other universities, 32 out of 34 students, the professor found out were using Alcorn, to write their papers for them. What we've got to do is make sure that our students don't go down that path, that they actually learn and that they actually are able to have those critical thinking skills that God made us to have. Our God-given critical thinking, the ability to read, and the ability to write. AI doesn't need to do our thinking for us, read and write for us. If we ever allow that to happen in our educational system, we have failed our children miserably. So I think having human components, human jobs, human skills is going to be more valuable than ever before as we look to the future. There will be those who will become couch potatoes. Some people who are creating AI, they don't want to have to work. And I've met some young people who, I'm not going to have to work, I can sit at home. That is the worst possible result.
Yes.
But having meaningful work, valuable work that meets the real needs of real people, whether it's in construction, whether it's in healthcare, education, food, all these things are where we're going to have to focus to AI-proof Mississippi, all right? Yeah. That's how we're going to keep our kids. And the more jobs like that we can have for them, I think the better off they're going to be, and I know the better off the state's going to be.
How's our farmer doing?
Farmers, I just got back from D.C. Leading an agriculture, forestry, and seafood delegation to the White House. And we had a long discussion, 2 sets of discussions, in fact, about the big issues. And farmers are struggling to make ends meet right now because the price of everything, the cost of farming has gone up so high. And it really started back during COVID, but it's only gotten worse. Inputs are higher, and then if you're raising a commodity like soybeans or cotton or corn, that places like Brazil are triple cropping and selling it at half our price, they're not competitive. So this is creating a whole new pivot moment in the world of agriculture. And the question is, how do farmers remain profitable going into the future? And the answer that everybody agrees on, including the White House, is we have to process our own food here. We have to process our own soybeans here, cotton here. We have to bring back these manufacturing jobs that have gone overseas, so that the farmer can benefit not just from the raw value of a commodity, but on the value-added aspect of this product that now has more value and make farming profitable again. That's a big issue. Logging, forestry is hurting right now because of so many foreign imports of wood product. The same thing is true in our catfish, in our seafood industry, in vegetables. Yeah, we're importing more foreign food than we ever have, partly because California is drying up. They don't have the production they used to have. They used to be the center of American food production. So farmers are beginning to ask the question and starting to answer it. All right, if I'm going to survive, if I'm going to make a profit, I have to find a way to value add my product. And that's not just selling a raw product, but having one that is packed, that is prepared, that is frozen, that is a soybean that is turned into meal or into oil, and then benefiting from that economic value at the same time as we are insulating ourselves from the undue influence of foreign countries. That's the big issue.
That's a national security issue.
Food security is national security.
You bet.
And so what I want to do is to take what I have learned as Ag Commissioner and leverage that into the office of Governor and make sure that we have that local food supply for our kids, for our grandkids, and we can actually turn this around for the future of farming.
Agreed.
The thing is, there are technologies that are coming online that young people are interested in that I believe may propel more young people to get involved in food production. For decades now, mom and dad's retiring, the farm's, is it going to continue? No, they tell them don't keep the farm going. Go do something. Go get a job in Jackson or somewhere, because they say the farm just isn't worthwhile for it's not profitable and all the stress. I think we can turn that around with this new technology and say, okay, we can be the food supply for America. I'll give you one quick example and something that gives me a lot of hope. We just cut a ribbon. I've done 22 economic development projects since I've been Ag Commissioner. 22 economic development projects.
So give me, real quick, side tangent. Name a couple.
All right, I'll give you a couple before I get to the one I was going to highlight.
Before you get to the big one.
We built 2 railroads
Okay.
to supply wood industries in Mississippi. All right, we brought those into short line railroads. We have tripled Mississippi's meat processing capacity by taking existing custom processors. Actually, Gene Newman called me. This originated with you. It was when COVID hit. You remember this?
Yeah, I
You
remember.
called and said, we can't find meat in the grocery store. Where's our local processors? Well, Gene planted that seed, and we were able to take advantage of some funds and triple Mississippi's meat processing. We went from 3 meat processors, USDA approved, to now we have 9, and we have a 10th coming online. I'm proud of that. So that's a bunch. We've done a lot of local poultry operations. Believe people want local chicken, pasture-raised chicken. We've done that. But the one I want to highlight at this moment is Salad Days.
Okay.
Salad Days, Flora, Mississippi. We cut the ribbon on this hydroponic facility in March. I think it was St. Patrick's Day, green. Everything was green. They are producing in a controlled indoor environment, hydroponic, growing in water.
Yeah.
Healthy, no contaminants, no pesticides, they're growing 3 million head of lettuce a year, which is enough to supply every grocery store right here. Now, the reason that's important is we had a little problem with lettuce in Taco Bell.
We did.
This summer.
We did. Now that you mention it.
Cyclospora. Now, before that, so all that was foreign. That's
Yeah,
foreign
it's
Mexican lettuce.
Mexican lettuce, right.
The USDA took it off the shelves, and immediately there was a need for more lettuce.
Right.
Salad Days has been able to deploy that into every grocery store around. Local salad for local people.
Right.
Creating jobs, healthy food. And when people eat healthy local food, they're going to be healthier.
And they're healthier.
And that's going to be the next big thing. Is how do
Yeah.
we take our local food supply and get it all into our local schools, into our
Yeah,
institutions,
Yeah.
into our hospitals, even prisons. And when people eat the food God intended for them to eat, they're
Yes.
going to be healthier.
Instead of all this processed mess.
And we get them pink eye, purple hull peas. And
Yeah,
That's
right,
right.
right.
So we've done cold storage projects. We work with our ports to enhance their capabilities to sell wood products. So I've done economic development for going on 10 years and worked very closely with Bill Cork at Mississippi Development Authority and his team. And the future's bright. I think farming is hurting right now, but this pain that farmers are experiencing can be a pivot point to get us to that value-added economy that we can bring back to Mississippi. Let's let Mississippi lead on it and not be number 50.
Agreed. So let's talk a little bit about farm to table. We have talked about this year on this show, and I'm a big advocate of being able for the farmer to go back to having that ability to sell straight to, and you can, but I think we've got to incentivize that some way.
we do.
So that we can get more out of this processed mess and get more of this fresh, get people talking about, hey, I want fresh greens, I want fresh string beans, I don't want canned, I want from the farm, I want Smith County watermelons.
That's right.
You know, I want some Smith County tomatoes. I don't want ones from Mexico.
Yep.
So how do we bring back the good old Mill Street, old-timey farmers market that I remember going to as a boy, that there would just be tons and tons of farmers there selling their how do we, I know that won't come back, but how do we get some type of hybrid of that? How do we get more farm to table?
Well, we've had a good start at it. When I took office in 2018, I think we had 22 or 24 certified farmers markets. That means farmers markets that we know are growing Mississippi product in Mississippi. Today, this year, we just celebrated, we had more than in the history of the state, 74.
Wow.
It's 24 to 74, maybe 75 now. We opened a new farmers market at the Brandon Amphitheater that is, everything there is grown in Mississippi. That's a unique, some of the farmers markets have what's in season and some have other items, but we're proud to bring that back. So now we have to find the next generation. And I'm really encouraged by the young people who are really into this. They are concerned about what they eat. They want to know who their farmer is.
Right.
And I see an increase in the number of youth who are interested in food production. So getting them plugged in with the farmer to keep that farm going. If we don't, in about 8 years, these farms are going to close and nobody's going to keep them going. Apprenticeships. Who's going to raise the next generation of Smith County watermelons? One of our great producers just retired, Clyde McGee.
Yeah.
He has some family, we hope, that's going to come and keep that going. But the same principle applies in all of these productions. If you want to be part of the solution, here's the way you can do it. The biggest problem agriculture has, and I would say every other industry has in Mississippi, is workforce. We don't have enough people who
Labor
are
shortages.
willing to work, who want to show up and do the hard work. It's getting easier, but it's not easy work. It's getting easier with new technology and equipment and all. But getting a focus on this to make Mississippi healthy again, that's part of my 7-part plan.
I'm right there with you. I'm all for the MAHA movement. Yeah, make America healthy again. I would say make Mississippi healthy again.
right.
I'm all with that.
And we've got to have the cold storage to keep it and to distribute it. We've got to have that all over, at least 3 different hubs in Mississippi to make it workable. Yeah.
Okay, had your hands full, hadn't you?
We're down this road. I mean,
signed up for.
we're getting down this road. That's right.
All right, so this year, we'll pivot some more. This year, we celebrated America's 250th.
That's right.
And you had a big time in Washington.
I did.
You took a massive booth up there. You did a lot of things. I kind of want to talk about this a little bit because if you missed it, you missed it. So the pavilion that was there highlighted Elvis Presley, Walter Payton, Medgar Evers, Tennessee Williams, Jim Henson, James Hardy, Jim Henson, the Muppets.
The Muppet, yeah.
James Hardy. And you really got into highlighting what we do here in Mississippi, aerospace, which people probably don't realize this, manufacturing, drone technology, shipbuilding. Ingalls Shipyard is one of the oldest around, and the medical innovations. Those were some of the things you highlighted. How was it in D.C. being
You
able
forgot
to?
something important.
Which one?
Mississippi biscuits.
That's right.
You served. You did
I
serve
served biscuits,
You
Santa.
did serve biscuits there. I did. Thank you for reminding us. But how did that go? Tell me how you prepared for that, and then being up there and seeing everyone. How was that celebrating 250 and highlighting Mississippi?
It's not just a once in a lifetime, but a once in a generation experience, or multiple generations. I want to thank and give credit to the Mississippi Development Authority Tourism Division because they had the vision for what this booth could be, and working with them to make it what it was and what it is, I think was recognized by many as the best booth on the National Mall. Rochelle Hicks, who is the Director of Tourism at MDA, gets a big shout out, great job. And I just want to say what a privilege it was to be there, to represent Mississippi there. We had some Mississippians come by, but by and large, these were folks who'd never been to Mississippi from other parts of the country. They had no idea all that Mississippi has contributed and is still contributing in the way of wonderful, good things from arts and music and culture. Everybody wanted their picture with B.B. King and Elvis Presley. We had those cutouts there.
Of course.
But they had no idea the first heart transplant, all these major angioplasties, all these lung transplants. We're building ships. We're building every rocket that has gone to outer space in Mississippi. We build things. We manufacture things. And when people walked through that booth, they walked out saying, wow, we had no idea. And so we're going to continue that at the State Fair this year. We're still celebrating America 250. We're going to replicate that. And yes, I did give some biscuits out at the National Mall. I said, if I didn't do anything else, I'm taking a taste of the biscuit booth to Washington, D.C.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So the fair's coming up.
Yeah.
So the America 250 highlight, what are we going to see in the fair? Are we going to incorporate any of that this year?
We certainly are. We're going to continue that theme. The theme of the 2026 Mississippi State Fair is honoring our veterans. Let freedom ring.
Okay.
If it were not for our veterans, we would not have any freedom.
Amen.
Freedom rings today because of our veterans. So every day we're going to honor our veterans and their branch of service. We're going to have Mississippi's first military parade right down the Midway, Saturday, October 10th, working with our National Guard.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I hope to get to drive one of those great World War II Jeeps if I can find one of those.
Willis?
I'm not going to ride a horse with a tank behind me, but I may find a Willis if I can find one. Have a military parade, honor our veterans, men and women in uniform, and the theme will continue. And as we do that, of course, highlighting all the good things in Mississippi. Coming from the National Mall visit, I've had people like Todd Starnes, who's a national commentator. He reached out. He wants to come here. If we can work out the logistics, he's going to come here and broadcast live from the Mississippi State Fair and highlight some more of the great things of Mississippi. Of course, we'll have our rodeo. We have a Taste of the Dixie National Rodeo. Rodeo Queens will be there. We have agriculture, livestock shows, tractor show, antique cars. All the great, wonderful people of Mississippi gathered together to celebrate the State Fair. And yeah, we'll have biscuits every day.
Wonderful.
I want to be, the biscuit booth sometimes can be a point of confusion. I have people show up in the middle of the day on a weekday and say, where's the biscuit booth? I want everybody to know. The biscuit booth hours are every weekday in the evenings and every Saturday all day, basically from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock, but Saturday and Sunday. So weekends, it's an all-day event. You can come get your biscuit mid-morning or whenever, but weekdays, it's in the afternoon, about 4:30, we'll kick it off.
Okay.
The only exception to that is Senior Day, Senior American Day, when we have it right after the performances in the Coliseum. So yeah, come get your biscuit, fresh, hot, homemade buttermilk biscuit. We gave over 100,000 of them away last year.
Over 100,000.
Yeah, we'll do it again this year.
Wow.
That's a lot of biscuit making.
That's a lot of biscuit making. All right, so what Mississippi story are we just not telling enough?
I thought about that when you asked me that earlier, and I think the story that we're not telling enough is that we really are the hospitality state. Yeah, we can tell people all day long what we build and what we do and what you can buy here and all the great art, but until people actually come here and realize that we are the most diverse state in America, more people of different backgrounds, white folks, African American folks, Hispanic folks living together in harmony. A lot of people have a misconception that Mississippi is this bad place that has a bad reputation. We can overcome that. We can show them we are the hospitality state and we really do love everybody and we want you to come visit us. So that's the message that I think we just need to focus on. And when they come here, they'll get to see all the things we build, all the great food we have. I mean, that's just gravy on the biscuit, all right? That's just on extra. But it's the great people that we have here in Mississippi that we need to focus on and emphasize, and it's something I love to do. I've taken the message of Mississippi around the world. As Ag Commissioner, I've been to almost every continent on planet Earth promoting our products. But when I do that, I always say, if you want to meet the best people, you need to come to Mississippi.
Come to Mississippi. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So, running for governor.
Yes, sir. Running for governor, 2027.
We have talked about a lot of stuff in here. So, what is that first 100 days of your administration, that first 100 days out of the gate, with all the things we've talked about? What's on the agenda? What's day one? I'm this. Day two, I'm this. What are we really going to be pushing on day one?
Day one, I actually published a list of things I will do on day one as governor, 10 things that I would do on day one. I did that back in November. On day one, I will ban Sharia law in Mississippi. If y'all don't do it first, y'all may get a chance to do that before I'm governor. I hope you do, but if not, I will. I'm also going to roll back. I'm going to direct every agency in Mississippi to look at your regulations and let's repeal and roll back every regulation that's not mandated by federal or state law. There's so many rules that are just they've been out there because it's the way we've always done it. It's sort of like looking at your bylaws.
I love hearing that.
Why do we do it? Why do we have bylaws in church? Why do that say this? Well, that's the way they did it back in 1947. That may not apply today. So look at your rules, look at your regulations, roll them back. And I'll ask the legislature, let's repeal some laws. Let's just do the same thing. Get the right committees together. I'm not going to, tell you every nook and cranny where to look. Y'all can figure it out and roll back some laws that just don't have any application. Let's make that code book section shorter and get some rules off the books. Let's expand our freedom for Mississippians. That's day number one. On day number one, I will establish the statewide multi-agency law enforcement task force. I will do for the whole state what I've done on the fairgrounds. Let's get all the right people, law enforcement, together at a statewide level, and let's go where the high crime areas are and let's end that reign of terror. We will arrest those we can find who are breaking our laws and put the fear of God in the rest of them, and they're going to feel led to leave. I'll tell you that. We'll root out that criminal element in those high crime areas across Mississippi. And then I mentioned the juvenile crime. We're going to tackle that. We're going to. I know that there's support to do what I described, at least 400 bed juvenile center to get these dangerous juveniles out of our communities and make sure they will actually learn and earn their way out. And then we're going to, I'm going to focus on the food supply issue that I just described, developing a statewide plan to have our local food, to have Mississippi lead the nation, not this year or 5 years, but 10 years from now. Everybody in America will know if you want fresh local food, it's in Mississippi, all right? And by doing that, we're going to help our farmers and help our next generation be healthier. I'm going to do a lot of great things like that. I have a lot more I could talk about, but if you want to read all that I'm going to do, I have published a plan.
Good.
I call it my conservative common sense plan for Mississippi. I published this on August 3rd, 2026, exactly 1 year before the primary date. It's a 7-point plan: renew Mississippi freedom, make Mississippi affordable again. We're going to cut the cost of your taxes. We're going to cut your car tags and eliminate. We're going to accelerate this income tax elimination by cutting out the marriage penalty, by giving you a child care credit. And something that's really important, we're going to stabilize and fully fund our PERS, Public Employees Retirement System. It is a great need. It is a desperate need to be funded, and I appreciate the legislature has done some good work on that, but there is still some work to be done. Make our communities safe. I have a School of Excellence plan. Let me describe that. Education. Here's my education plan. If the problem is students in Mississippi who don't have good education options, why don't we take the best teachers in the state of Mississippi, the most qualified, advanced placement teachers, let's pay them something extra and let's do what you're doing. Let's broadcast their lessons into the poorest and most underserved communities in the middle of the Mississippi Delta. And their teacher who's there who may not have that advanced certification to teach, they can be there in that room with them. And what I'm calling it is my Governor's School of Excellence plan. Every child in Mississippi who wants to take their education to the next level, who wants to develop their God-given critical thinking skills, reading and writing skills that'll be more valuable than ever, they can enroll in this school. They can have the benefit of the best school teachers in Pearl, Mississippi. That teacher's going to be paid more, and that'll be broadcast into the schools, into a classroom where the kids there, wherever they are in Mississippi, can learn and benefit from it. And every child who will go through that course and will graduate can earn a scholarship to one of our great universities. That's what I have on my heart. I think it's a plan that's common sense, and it's a plan that, frankly, with modern technology, it can be done pretty quick.
It can.
We just have to have the teachers who are willing to do it. I know they're out there, they'll want to do it, and we'll pay them a premium for taking their skills and putting it into the most underserved and underserved educational classrooms in the state. That's what we want to do, and that's going to help everybody. It's a win-win-win.
Sounds good.
All right, so that's my education plan. I don't know who will be against it. I'm sure somebody will be
Somebody
against
will say something about it.
Real jobs for real people.
Right.
Food supply and jobs. Make Mississippi healthy again. And I believe this. I put at the end of my plan. We can end child hunger in Mississippi. Child hunger is a real issue. There are children in Mississippi who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Working with local churches, nonprofits. I'm thinking about Extra Table right now, which is based in Hattiesburg, and I've had some great conversations with Robert St. John. This is a program that can supply basic food at no cost to the government, at no cost to the taxpayer. This is just Mississippians being who we are, neighbors helping neighbors. We've done it in disasters. I've responded to a number of disasters here in Mississippi, and we've had Extra Table pack red beans and rice, 40,000 meals that were distributed to people in need during the ice storm. That same model, which didn't cost one penny of government money, we can use that to supply our food banks in our local communities for our children who are hungry, for senior citizens who may be hungry. We can end hunger in Mississippi, and we can do it by neighbors helping neighbors. The good people of Mississippi, our churches and faith-based organizations, we are that kind of people, and we can do it. And I
agree.
I will lead on that effort. So if you want to read my plan,
I was going to ask.
go to andygibson.com. That's right. It's out there. Or you can watch it on my Facebook page. Every day I'm rolling out videos about a piece of it, and from everything from public safety to health. And I'm excited
Is
about
it Andy Gibson for governor? Is it?
My website is Andy Gibson, and make sure you put Gibson with a P.
Right.
Gibson with a P. That's my logo. Gibson with a P. Check that box. Andy Gibson with a P. AndyGibson.com is the website. Right. And all my information and plan is out there. So I'm excited about it. I appreciate you having me on. I love Pearl, and I love what you're doing here through this television program, reaching the people in this community. Thank you for having it.
We like to think that, there's no real format here.
Yeah.
And we get to just explore topics and get to know who you are, and it's a nice place to sit and just have a conversation.
It is.
And we invite these nice people to watch.
We're glad that you're here.
We are.
Yeah, and come see us and get a biscuit at the State Fair.
Yeah, right. I put a new person in that hot seat every week, or I have Dean and Jean. I have the two of them all the time. So, but I do appreciate you coming in. I get down to the little section now that we call our lightning round, and it's a lot of fun because it's just off the cuff questions that just they're kind of fun, and they're kind of neat, and people just get to learn something about you. But so I'm just going to jump right into that. First car.
1968 Chevrolet C10 pickup truck.
Three on the tree.
Three on the tree, and you can see it at the Mississippi State Fair.
You still have it?
I still have it. I load it down with pumpkins and stuff and drive it up during the
He
parade.
always has it sitting along with.
I guess.
You can come see it and get a picture with it.
Yeah, I'm going to.
I call it Old Faithful.
Old Faithful. Still driving it.
Still.
All right. So coffee or tea?
Coffee.
All right. First app you open on your phone in the morning. First one.
Email. I guess it's email.
Email's the first one.
It might be voicemail, but it's email or it's either email or text. Probably now I get people texting me all the time. It's probably I'm gonna put text at the top.
Is the first one that you do.
Text.
What's a typical Saturday look like for Andy?
Well, when I'm not running for governor.
When you're not running for governor, what's a typical Saturday?
Typical Saturday in the summertime and in the fall, I usually start out drinking a cup of coffee, strong coffee. And in the summer, I go out and work my garden or tend my yard. In the winter, I'm hunting. I'm in the woods.
Okay.
And in between, I do a little mix of all of that. But Saturdays for me are kind of like Sundays. They are a family day. They're a special day. Sunday is the Lord's day. Family day is Saturday, and so I have over the years made that my priority. I have to admit. Running for governor has taken some of my Saturday.
I bet.
But that's what I do.
Favorite thing to do when nobody's watching?
Sing. Sing.
Really?
I love to sing. I sing.
Yeah.
I sing on the tractor. I sing on my lawnmower. I can sing over that engine, and then a lot of times just singing, talking to the Lord, praying. When nobody's looking.
When nobody's looking. All right. Favorite fair food?
Biscuits. Fresh hot homemade buttermilk biscuits.
I knew you were going to ask. Who's your favorite Mississippi musician?
Got to be Elvis. Got to be Elvis Presley. Got to be. I listen to his gospel music. Johnny Cash was born in Mississippi, so he between him and he didn't stay in Mississippi long, but between those two, I'd have to say Elvis and Johnny Cash.
Morning person or night owl?
Not a night owl. I'm a morning person. I'm up. I usually get up 4:30, 5 o'clock every day, and I do drink my coffee. My routine. I listen to a podcast. I've been listening to for 30 years. Well, before podcasts on the radio, a preacher that goes through the scriptures, and that's my routine in the morning. And by 9 o'clock, by 10 o'clock, I'm ready for bed. All right. 10 o'clock p.m.
The older I've gotten that same way. What's one thing that always rides in your truck?
My Colt 45.
How did I know that?
It's out there right now.
Who's been the biggest influence on you in your life?
My daddy was the biggest influence on me, and he led me to the Lord. He and my mom taught me to love the Lord. And of course, my dad was a pastor. He was a bivocational pastor, built houses for a living. And a lot of people in Pearl knew my daddy, Harry Gibson. But I remember the day I was 7 years old. We were having revival here in Pearl. I'm the preacher's kid, and Brother Joe Royalty preached the message that morning. I got convicted, and I knew I needed to be saved. But on the way to church that afternoon, I asked my daddy, I said, what do I need to do? How do I become saved? How do I get saved? And he stopped the car, pulled it over, and led me to the Lord, walked me through the plan of salvation. And that's the best decision I ever made, receiving Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. And that's the kind of daddy I want to be for our 4 children as well. Yeah. So I'll lead them to Jesus.
What's one thing your wife says you spend too much money on?
Coffee.
I was going to say politics.
Coffee and politics too. Yeah, running for governor is expensive. But coffee, I think she would say, how do you use so much coffee? I just bought you coffee. So we keep boxes and boxes of coffee. I'm a heavy drinker when it comes to coffee.
Are you really?
Yeah. I drink 6 or 7
Spend way too much money on coffee.
That's right.
All right, best advice you ever received?
My grandmother, Minnie Lee Gibson, at a time when I was a young man, I was in college, and I was worried to death about my future and how I was going to turn out, what kind of job I would have. And I remember sitting in her kitchen, she was baking biscuits, and she said, son, you just need to keep asking yourself this question on this particular issue I was worried about. Is it really going to matter in 100 years? And when you apply that test, is it really going to matter in 100 years? When you apply that test to issues in life, you come to realize what's important and what's not.
What's not.
Will it make a difference in 100 years? That's when you realize God is going to make a difference. What we do with the Lord, what we do for Him. Our family is going to make a difference. Our faith, how we serve, how we love one another. Those are the things that will make a difference in 100 years. The rest of it, not so much.
That's a good spot to end.
It is. Thank you.
Amen on that. Andy, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you
God
coming
bless
in.
you and all of y'all out there.
Thank you for bringing him in today. I mean, it's been fantastic.
He's always welcome here.
Amen.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing, and good luck to you. And you know, I know, but may the best man win. Because God's will is going to be done.
That's
whatever God wants.
I have a total peace about it.
A total peace about it.
God's in control, and the people of Mississippi, I thank you for having me, and I will see you on the campaign trail.
That's right. All right. We're going to step aside, but when we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on this week in Pearl, so don't run off. We'll be right back.
Here in Pearl, we have Trustmark Park. It seats 8,500 people. It's a great venue that we have here locally. You can catch a baseball game. We have a new team, the Mississippi Mud Monsters, so we're so excited about that. And Trustmark Park, the stadium's been fully renovated. Adjacent to that, we have Bass Pro Shop, as well as the Mississippi outlets that people can come shop and enjoy and have a great time. So it's a good place to come. It's a destination spot for our city. We did a $12 million renovation to our Parks and Rec several years ago, and what we were missing was another key area for our children to come and just be able to hang out and have fun, but also have some playground equipment that was really cutting edge. I've always thought if you can get your community together, then you can have a stronger sense of community. And I think that's what Main Street brings to the table for us. And even though we're a post-World War II city and our architectural doesn't signify a downtown, we're trying to have an area that we create that people can come together and have a sense of community.
Hi folks, welcome back into this week's In Pearl edition, where we just had a fantastic conversation with Andy Gibson, the Commissioner of Agriculture here in the state of Mississippi, who is running for governor. I love that conversation. It was fantastic. I do appreciate him coming by and spending a little bit of time, taking some time out of his very busy schedule, especially when you're running for office or running for governor, especially. A lot of people pulling on your time, and I appreciate him giving us a little bit. Thank you to Representative Gene Newman for setting that up and allowing that to happen. We do appreciate it very much. All right, so what's going on? Well, it's August. Not only is it hot, but football starts right around the corner. As a matter of fact, on Friday, this coming Friday, we're going to have the Jamboree at the Pearl High School Canton comes to town, and we'll be playing them. It's just if you haven't been to a jamboree, it's really like a kind of a hybrid between a game and a practice, where you're just practicing against another team. It is a lot of fun to watch. You can kind of get an idea of what the team's going to look like, and you can kind of see how things are going to play out. But that is coming up this Friday. And then next Thursday, August 27th, actually is when Madison Central comes to town, and we kick off the preseason. So that's next Thursday, August 27th. And then the following week, it'll be that Friday night in Warren Central in Vicksburg. We'll be traveling over there. So that's what's going on. Football is starting, if you can believe it. It's football season, and hey, it'll just be what NFL just started the other day with preseason, and college is fixing to wind up. So it's our favorite time of the year as football season gets started. Anyway, I've enjoyed it. Again, I appreciate Commissioner of Agriculture Andy Gibson coming in, run for governor, and I appreciate Gene Newman as well. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great week. We'll see you next time.